right, y'all. The underhook system. One of the most effective and reliable systems that you can learn how to utilize in upper body grappling. How do we get there? Like so. If we're standing in front of our partner in our correct wrestling stance, while we're forehead to forehead, I can take a cross grip wrist control so that I can now use my same side forearm to frame on my partner's crook of their elbow. As I squat, this is uncomfortable enough for my partner to have to squat with me. This allows me to get my elbow to the inside as I pummel and acquire my underhook. You'll notice that I did not let go of this wrist on this side. This is so that I have time to make my adjustment of getting my head between my partner's shoulder and neck region. From here, now I can take the inside position with my thigh so that I can begin dominating the push. When I'm ready, I can let go of this hand so that I can take control of the opposite elbow, my partner's head, or begin using this to attack my partner's feet. I can use this underhook for both pulling and pushing. One more time. Traditional wrestling stance, forehead to forehead. We get a cross wrist grab. We use that forearm to frame on the crook of their elbow. Squat down, elbow comes in for that nice tight underhook. We adjust our head, and now from here, we can begin our motion of moving our partner around. A second option to acquire the underhook is going to be a post, collar tie, and then underhook. We have to create movement in order for this transition to actually work, because I must elicit a realistic reaction from my partner. In the beginning, it may not feel as so, but as it quickens to a live pace, you'll be able to hit this transition rather seamlessly. We start in our fundamental wrestling position. I'm going to post. My partner's going to put a brake on to stop themselves from moving. My collar tie is coming over the top to slap my partner's head down to the ground. As I slap them down to the ground, they're going to stand up. As they stand up, I drive my underhook to the inside, keeping both my collar tie and now my underhook. My forehead closes the space between his neck and his shoulder so that I can dominate the push or use this to dominate the pull. Takedown number one off of the underhook system. What happens when our partner does nothing? Now, we start in our traditional head-to-head forehead, cross wrist grab, frame, squat, elbow comes to the inside, and now we have our underhook. From this position, if our partner does nothing, we can use this to start to pull their head down. Typically, I'd like to grab in front of their head so that I can circle away, pivoting on my inside toes as I backtrack my top foot. So I pivot, backtrack, turn my partner around, and now his hand will hit the ground. From here, I can apply my chest to back connection, look for my chin strap control, and now I can swap from having an underhook to my overhook so that I can now start pulling my partner's weight away from them to start breaking them down to finish my takedown. One more time. Forehead to forehead, hands in front, cross wrist grab, crook of the elbow, squat, elbow to the inside, connect on the head. If our partner does nothing, swap our connection, pivot on our front toes, backtrack with our rear toes to make our partner's hands touch the ground. Cover with our chest to back connection, wrap a chin strap, and we can also use this underhook to pull on our partner as we circle them away to get them down to the ground. Takedown number two, acquiring the body lock. Now, the body lock is going to be a very specific tool that we're going to talk about progressively through this instructional. It can be very useful if I dominate the inside position. However, incredibly detrimental if I fail to do so, leading to my partner tossing me and leading for my girlfriend later to dump me. Okay, now, this is going to be a reaction if our partner chooses to stand up. directly once we get our underhook. Let's take a look. Forehead to forehead, hands in front, cross wrist grab, squat, underhook. Now, from this position, my partner begins to stand up. I close the distance with my front foot to occupy the space between their knee and their inside thigh. My head stays glued to their chest as my hands come down, rear hand around their back, front hand in front of their stomach. I'm going to make sure that I cinch everything nice and tight from this position, and I'm going to go ahead and start to pivot on my front toes as I backtrack with my rear toes. You can do this slow or you can do this fast. Taking it slow will ensure that your partner lands on the ground rather softly. Stand up. Taking it a little faster will make it so that I get more of a whipping effect to the ground as my partner hits. Let's turn this way. Get some room underneath. You'll notice that I land in a body lock position right here. Trust in yourself and keep control of this body lock. This will be uncomfortable for your partner to have to deal with while their main priority of hip escaping is trying to happen. From here, I'll have the time to make a decision on how I'm going to continue to flatten my partner out. Takedown number 3, the knee tap. The knee tap is an incredibly easy takedown that you can get as long as you're dominating the underhook position with your partner. It doesn't really require much except for the fact that you're able to pull your partner towards you, like so. Head and hands, cross grab, sink, underhook. As I have this underhook, I'm going to make sure that I'm able to pull my partner towards me. And I want to make sure that my feet are able to run right in front of my partner. Now, I'll reach my hand down as I change elevation to attach myself to my partner's leg. I'm going to walk my feet to my hands as I use my head to push my partner's shoulder over their knee line. As I continue to walk, my partner will have no other option but then to hit the ground, and I'll land in top side control. Doing it slow in the beginning is imperative, because if you mess your feet up, you mess the whole thing up. As we go again, head and hands, cross grip, forearm frame, squat, underhook, and from here, I can begin pulling my partner towards me. The more I circle my partner, the more likely they are to try to stand their head up to disconnect from mine. This is now my opportunity to block their far leg and start to run past them to land on top side control. Takedown number 4, setting up your outside single leg. This usually will happen when your partner realizes that you're dominating the inside position with your leg. When they try to step their leg back to the inside, the outside single leg becomes an incredibly easy option, like so. Head and hands, cross grip, forearm frame, squat, underhook. As I circle my partner and I step to the inside, he knows that I'm trying to dominate the inside position so that I can usually go for a body lock. His response is to circle his leg back to the inside so that he can either try to throw me or to defend my body lock. From this position, I merely need to detach my underhook, squat down, and drag my hand below so that I can connect my hands higher up in my partner's crotch. From here, my head becomes the main pushing factor so that I can get my partner's shoulders moving back, making their leg light. Once I've picked up the single leg, we begin with our off-balancing maneuvers until we're able to get our partner down to the ground. One more time. We start head and hands. Those hands come out. That cross grip happens. That forearm frame, underhook, and then I dominate the inside thigh position. As my partner gets their thigh back to the inside, I merely need to squat, connect my hands, push, and then bring my feet underneath my shoulders. Takedown number 5. Post, snap down, underhook, high crotch, double leg. If you've accomplished all of the first 4 takedown setups, this 5th one is something that you can begin working on next. Head and hands, post, that break comes on, collar tie. I try to pull my partner's head down and he resists. This opens up my opportunity to dig my underhook as well as cut my angle. When I'm in this position, my partner is going to typically try to square up with me. As he squares up, that's going to be an opportunity for me to swap my feet so that my power leg is forward. I can squat, open my shoulder to pass his arm behind me as my front knee hits the ground. This will allow me to grab onto his calf, swap my hands, begin building height, shuffling my feet so that my knee is blocking his, so that I can squat and lift my partner to finish my double leg takedown.